Hi, this is Lisa from Crafting Cottage. Today I'm going to show you how to make this lovely greeting card. The supplies that you're going to need is just a small stamp set. These are stamp pegs that my friend Carol gave to me as a gift. These are by rubber stamp Tapestry, and it's called California Dreaming. You can use any tiny stamps like flowers and leaves is what we're going to be using today. You're going to need a 5.5 by 5.5 card base. I've done mine tent style. You're going to need a 5.25 by 5.25 piece of cardstock, colored cardstock. This is Basil that I'm using, and it's my favorite shade. I think it's blush pink, and Kim brings this in for me at the Cutting Garden. So you're going to need an embossed panel, 5 by 5, and I used Embossability's embossing folder in my Big Shot to achieve this. You're going to need a 4.25 by 4.25 background panel, and you're going to be stamping on a square piece of 4 by 4, just white cardstock. Now I use the heavier cardstock. I buy it from Michael's. It's nice and thick, and it makes it's good to stamp on. It's very nice and smooth. Okay, so let's get started. So we're going to be, my first color I'm going to use is Cranberry, and this is by Adirondack. It's a really nice deep red. So I'm going to start with my flower, and this is a really easy technique. You're just going to want to tap your stamp onto your ink pad and not like push it down into it, because it makes a mess of your stamp. So we're just going to do top, bottom, side, side, and then we're going to fill it in. I'm going to try to stay out of the way so that you can see this properly. It doesn't look like much of a a wreath. That we're doing it kind of a wreath effect at the start. Doesn't look like much of a wreath, but as you stamp, it'll fill in nicely. You'll see. It's a very, very forgiving technique. Again, we're going to just lightly tap our stamp onto our ink pad so that we don't, oh, I missed a bit there. That's alright. So that we don't make a mess of our stamp. And so that's all I'm going to use with that flower. This ink was Ancient Page Flamingo. That's what I use for that. Now I'm going to get my Memento Olive Grove, and I'm going to start with my leaves. Now you'll notice on these stamps there's a line here, and it's kind of directional. The line is pointing to the stem on my leaves, so I like to keep my thumb over the line so that I know the position of my stamp. So I want the leaves, the stem, to come out from my flowers. So you'll notice as I'm stamping, I'm not changing the position of my stamp in my hand. I'm just simply moving my project around. So I'm going to work my way around. This is a very forgiving technique. You really can't make a mistake, which is really up my alley. So I'm just going to keep filling in with leaves. Hope you can see okay. It fills in really quickly. And like I said, any stamp set that you have that has little flowers and leaves, you could use. It doesn't have to be this one. Although after using this, I wouldn't mind getting a few more of these stamps. So that's those leaves. And I'm going to pull out, this set actually has another set of, well, it looks somewhat like leaves. It's a bit of a flourish to it. Again, I checked for my line. I'm going to put my thumb over the line and I'm just going to start filling in around quickly. Trying to make this video not so long. This is the first time I've posted a video, and well, depending on how it turns out, it might be my last, but we'll see. So I'm working my way around. I'm going to go on the inside. That, I think that's going to look okay. A couple more maybe here. Just looks a little bare here. There. And now I have one more color I'm going to use, and that is Memento Nautical Blue, and it has some other little bunches of flowers. So I don't really care about the line on this one. This is just adding a little bit more filler and a little bit more color to my project. And I'm just working my way around, filling in the holes. Okay, so I think I'm pretty happy with that. One more there. Okay, so I'm happy with that. So that's what the panel looks like when it's finished. Okay, so I'll move that out of the way and we'll start building our card. So we're going to take our white 5x5 embossed panel, and we're going to adhere that to your colored cardstock. I'm using pink. And then I'm going to go ahead and adhere that right to my card base. There we go. So then what I'm going to do is, this is Spellbinder's die. I think it's called Ironworks Accents. It's a lovely die. I find it's really tough to get out of the paper, to get the paper out of the die. So I use wax paper and it comes out like a dream. So what I'm doing is I'm just trimming off this middle piece here from the die cut, so I get this. I just want this piece, which I am going to kind of use it as a bit of a funny little frame for my stamp panel. So nothing fancy. I'm not really a fancy crafter. I'll just kind of center that on there and simply use a piece of tape to hold it down. And I'm going to do the same for the other side. Okay. A couple more little pieces of tape. And there you go. Okay, so then I'm going to mat that on top of my 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 background panel, and I'm going to pop it up. I like to use this foam tape that I get from the dollar store. Pop-up dots work perfectly. This is just a little bit more affordable. I get it at the dollar store, although for the last few weeks I haven't been able to find it, so I'm kind of freaking out. hopefully they'll bring it back in, because I go through miles of it. So, oh, I got a hair on it. My dogs are shedding. Well, can't be helped. Alright, so I'm going to pull off this foam backing, and I'm going to center it onto my 4x4, 4¼ by 4¼ background panel. Centering it would be good. Okay, so that's that. I'm going to take some sequin tape, or some people call it score tape, double-sided tape, and it's like really, really good adhesive, so you don't want your stamp panel to fall off your project when you give it to somebody. So now that I have that, I'm going to put it on here, centered nicely. So there you have it. I'm going to grab my stickles, and I'm going to just lightly put a dab in the center of each of my little flowers, the cranberry and the flamingo flowers, and that's going to give a really nice shimmery effect, and it's going to make your flowers pop right off the page. So pretty. Now that that's done, this is a Spellbinders die. It's a butterfly die. I'm terrible for throwing away packaging. I can't remember what the name of it is, but it comes with 2 different butterflies, and then it has the background. I'm not using the background on this. I'm just letting them fly solo here. So, and my glossy accents stopped working. That's alright. Unclog that. Stickles will work in a pinch. So there you go. I'm going to just glue your butterfly down. You can add some pop dot or some pearls to it. You'll see how I've done this in my card. I added some pearls here, and on the little scroll things on the inside, I like to decorate the inside of my cards with, if I'm using design paper, I'll use a strip of the design paper to match the front. This instance, I stamped my my paper, so I wanted this strip to match the front of my card, so I did that. I also made a handmade envelope using my envelope punch board from We Are Memory Keepers. I love that board. I use it all the time. This is 5½ by 5½. I stamped the back flap as well as the front, 2 of the front corners. So there you have it. Easy project, very elegant card. Someone would love to receive this pretty all occasion card. So like I said, this was my first video. Leave me a comment and let me know how I did, and I will put your name in a draw to win this card and matching envelope. I'll probably be doing the draw at the end of next week, so I hope to hear from you. Anyway, thanks. Happy stamping.